before turn up became a way of life. There was KE on the track, quietly setting the city on fire. He was not born in the heart of the ATL, but Atlanta claimed him because the music spoke louder than zip codes. When Swag Surfing hit the speakers, it felt like Atlanta's anthem. It wasn't just a song, it was a spiritual awakening at pep rallies, clubs, and corners all across the South. And just when you thought that was his moment, all the way turned up dropped, and the city never came down. KE's sound defined an era, the snap to turns up transition, the energy shift that took Atlanta from riding low to rising high. He didn't scream for attention, he let the beats do the talking, and the city responded. This ain't just a producer, this is one of the unsung architects behind Atlanta's second wave of dominance. You hear it and know, this ain't New York, this ain't LA, this is Atlanta, this is KE on the track. Now that's Atlanta culture.
Yeah, my boy KE in the building, man. What up, big dog?
Man? How you doing?
Hey, man, I'm chilling, man.
Man,
I'm just glad to be here with you.
Hey, man, I'm here working. I'm in the studio.
Shit, we got to get to it then, man.
Let's work. Let's
do
work.
it.
Let's talk.
Yep. Back at you with another episode of Atlanta Classic Remakes. Today, man, I got a guy that's a legend in the streets, man, and making these beats, man. He done made so many Atlanta classics, man. My guy, KE.
Man, thanks for having me, man.
I'm just glad you came here to fuck with us, man.
Yeah, I love what you're doing on
Hey,
the page.
man, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, big dog. But I really want to get into this one song, man, one of Future's biggest songs that he started off with that you produced, Magic, man.
Gotcha.
Magic.
Gotcha.
You think you can break that beat down for me and remake it for me?
Yeah, I got it right here. Of course, with the Magic record, it's notorious for the intro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when I made the intro, I like to put a lot of intros on my beat. I kind of got that from Scott Storch. Remember that Lean Back?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like that dun dun. And that to me kind of made the record. That set the tone. So ever since he had did that, I kind of took that from Scott Storch. And when I got this, when I was making this beat for Future, I wanted to put like a intro on there just to really get people's attention. And this is the intro that I got right here. See if I could cut it up so you can hear it a little. Just something light. And introduce myself in the tag, putting the tag right there.
Hold on, before we go any farther with that, man, how you come up with your tag?
Man, so Nitty Beats, with that young jock.
Okay.
That was my first time ever hearing a tag, was with Nitty. I always tell him that. And I was like, bro, I got it. He inspired me to make beats. That's one of my favorite producers. So I was like, I gotta get one of these tags, and I gotta get a kid saying it, you know what I'm saying? So I had my little brother. So I recorded, I was like, listen, man, I need you to say KE on the track. Mm-hmm. And I was like, then I was thinking about Akon, how Akon has that noise at the beginning with Convict. I'm like, man, I need a noise that's unique. Mm-hmm. And so I actually got that from Nitty. I feel like he was the first person with a tag, and I came right behind him. I was like, this is branding, this is marketing at this point. Yeah. And nobody had ever really did that before. So I was like, man, if I put a tag on my beats, if one of these things take off, I'll be one of the biggest. Everybody will know my name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, know you.
So it's my little brother, and he makes beats too. So you know what I mean. But that was my little brother doing that KE on the track tag. So so I wanted to start it off with the intro. Most of my beats, I try to put a good intro in it, and after that we just get straight to it. The main sounds in this Magic beat is really, I stacked 2 harps. So we got the harp, nothing major right there, just a little harp. I got came up with that kind of that little James Bond melody or whatever.
I feel it.
You know what I'm saying? So I started with the harp. After that, put another guitar underneath it. You know what I'm saying? I like to stack my sounds. Yeah. So just so it could sound a little bit full. So I put a guitar underneath it. Then I put the keys underneath this. And I'm using Zenology, but I originally made this beat using the same company, which is Roland.
So what did you start? What did you make it on?
So I made it on a keyboard called I made it on a keyboard called Roland. I forgot which one it was, but it was between a Roland and a keyboard called a Phantom. And the Phantom is that's my favorite. That's my favorite keyboard. That's where the Swag, Surfin, brass and all those. It comes from the Phantom. So I had 2 Rolands at the time. So this is just the VST, but they got the same sounds in it.
I always hear people say they go with that motif or the Phantom.
Yeah.
Which one of them give you grimier sounds? Why you like the Phantom?
To me, I like the Phantom because I just feel like they got better sounds.
Okay.
With me playing the drums and the organ and piano in the church, I would have a motif, but I feel personally like the motif is more for concerts.
Gotcha.
Just playing live. But I feel like the Phantom is more just for production.
Gotcha.
They got deeper and more richer sounds versus the motif. They got a lot of pianos and organs, but they don't really, when it comes to pads, leads, and things that beat makers need, I don't think that they supply that much.
So do you play your drums on the keyboard too, or do you go to an MP? What you know?
So the drums, I do straight in FL.
Okay.
So I've never used the MP before. Yeah, I just now bought one while I was here in Atlanta because I don't live here. I live in Miami, but I just went and bought one because all the producers I've been collabing with, they've been pulling out the MPC, and I'm like, all right, I got to learn this. But I started off just in FL Studio.
You know what? Just saying that, I want to backtrack just a little bit.
Okay.
Because we always start off like this. We got to know where you're from first, too.
All right, cool. So I'm from a small country town called Dade City, Florida.
Okay.
Not Dade County.
Okay.
Dade City. So it's an unknown city still. And then that's where I was born. But I was raised in a smaller town called Valdosta, Georgia.
Valdosta.
And that's 3 hours away going 75 south.
We know it well. They kicked our butts a lot of times in football. Up here.
So I'm from Valdosta basically because I went to school there. I was there since I was 8 years old. And but both places I grew up playing in the churches. Like my granddad is a pastor. Everybody in my family is not only heavily in church, but everybody plays an instrument. Yeah. So it wasn't. So when I was born, they just threw me on the drums. Like so, I was lucky enough to know. I already knew I was going to be doing music. I just didn't know which. I was playing for weddings, choirs. I didn't know what direction I was going to go. But being in, I think that even though Valdosta is a small country town, I was able to hone my skills.
Yeah.
I was able to. I wasn't distracted. There wasn't that much to do.
So what was your transition like coming to Atlanta? How did you get to Atlanta? Because you a super producer here in the city.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So I blew up in Atlanta while I was in Valdosta. And so how that worked is when I was in Valdosta, I wanted to I was pressing up the beat CDs. I was doing, we had the little it was me and Boom Man at the time. Boom Man was managing me at the time, and what we would do is we would press up CDs. I think that it was like a 10-disc CD. So I'll make my beats, and then we'll just go to Atlanta, and we'll just crash everybody's studio, put them everywhere, crash everybody's studio, put them everywhere, and in hopes that just somebody would just get it, right? And somebody ended up getting it. It was actually, I went to a Young Ralph studio session. He had that Look Like Money record at the time with Kente over there in the South. So I went over there and I gave Ralph the beat CD. I don't think he liked it, but there was somebody who wasn't even a rapper named J Money, and he stole the beat CD and went to go make a record, and then that made me hot. It was a record called First Name Last Name, and that record got me buzzing in the street. It wasn't a radio commercial. You're
kind of like the father of that whole movement too, that futuristic movement.
That kind of sound, it was me, J Money, and Young LA. We were just all together working and kind of came up with it at first. You know what I'm saying? But it all happened from him stealing the beat CD from Young Ralph and doing it and then he was going to Shawty Low studio and just having Low do it. And I started getting a street buzz, and I'm still in Valdosta flipping burgers. Yeah. But I got a little mixtape, DJ screen, street buzz, but I don't got no known record outside of Atlanta. I'm just slowly getting these mixtape placements with J Money. I'm getting them with Young LA. I'm starting to build a name real quick, but I'm making enough money where I don't have to flip burgers anymore. I'm making enough street money.
Yeah.
All right, 500 here for a beat. 500 here for a beat. So I'm making enough money in the streets with the beats because of my buzz to be able to quit my job. And so once I was able to quit that job, I went all the way in with the
Gotcha.
beats. I'm like, okay, I'm about to do 10 a day. And Swag Surfin ended up being one of those beats that took off. Then after that, that's when Future kind of came around.
Yeah.
Because at that point, I was just major at that point. You know what I'm saying? So Future, his name was Meathead, but our futuristic movement was so big, he changed his rap name to Future. You know what I'm saying? That's how big the movement was. But you know, we could talk about it, but it's getting we're back around with the sound now.
We right back.
You know what I'm saying? So
that's why we came to you to hear you do this magic.
Yeah. So
we had to get it back.
So when I got with Future, this beat that I'm making, I had to name it. You know, when you make a beat, you gotta save it or something. I saved it as Magic. That was just the name of the beat. So when I gave it to him, he looked at it when we was in the studio, and I was like, man, I should get publishing. Yeah, I need to get writers publishing. I'm the one who gave you the idea.
No doubt. No doubt.
So,
you definitely was.
So that's where we at with it, and it was the first record we ever did. You know, he had the Racks on Racks with YC. He was on the hook, but people didn't really know that. YC was getting all the credit. I think even in the video, they was trying to hide his face. So Future was already kind of buzzing in the street. Then he had that record with YC. Nobody was really looking at Future like that because YC was the main person. But on my end, I was like,
he the one.
The reason why everybody liked the song is because whoever's on the hook.
Yeah.
And once I found out it was him, I just reached out. I was like, bruh, I'm a fan. Come to the studio. You know what I'm saying? So when he came to the studio, this is the beat that I played. And it called Magic. And it was the first record that we did, which ended up being his first hit record that blew him up.
Yeah.
And from here, he was able to get a multi-million-dollar deal just from this one record. And ever since then, he kept going. But this was the record that started it off.
Hey, so the record really was magic. Voila.
It was.
Take off.
It was. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get back to what I was going through making the beat, and it was simple, but it was clean, and
most of the best beats are simple beats.
Right.
You gotta have room for the artist.
You gotta have room for that, and I always think that way. I'm as a producer, a lot of times a producer they'll
overproduce.
They'll put too much in it,
and there's no room.
And there's no room. So I always tell producers, I'm like, the art, you gotta look at the art. You gotta leave room for it. You gotta look at the artist's vocals as an instrument. You gotta look at it that way. So when you're making a beat, you're panning, just remember in that middle part, in that middle pocket, something has to be there, right? And so I think great art is simple and minimal. You know what I mean? And so with this beat specifically, the main hits is 2 harps, it's a guitar, and it's 2 pads. And I kind of just tucked everything underneath. So this is exactly how I made it, which is the main. All right, so we got that. So after this, we're gonna go. This is a square lead. So any VST, any keyboard, at default, they're gonna have a square lead. This is the most basic square lead, but it made the record. A lot of my futuristic beats, I was always using these square leads.
There you go.
And then we have the whistle, of course. Oh, well, this is actually the piano. This is a grand piano. EQ, you know, I took all the bass out of it, panned it to the left to give it some bounce. I think that, especially with a lot of these trap records or whatever, the instruments have to have the instruments gotta have some type of rhythm too, right? And we're gonna go there. We have by the way, all of these sounds that I'm using, I purposely wanted retro sounds. So they're all 80s, 70s, Juno. I'm up to this day, I'm not really a fan of any sound that's new. I think that those Juno keyboards, the old Rollins, I'm always going with those retro sounds.
KE taking us on the journey right now. KE taking us through there. He taking us on the journey. Y'all pay attention to this shit.
You know what I'm saying? So I got the male vocal choir just Put that in there just to kind of fill it up a little bit, give it some depth. Then we have, let's see, froze a little bit. Let me get this back. Okay. So we got the famous trap whistle.
So that's the trap whistle?
This is
the trap whistle?
This the Jeezy Shawty Red trap whistle. This the famous trap whistle that everybody, when you're making a trap beat, man, you can't use no whistle. If you're gonna use a whistle, it gotta be this shaky trap one. That's the only thing people are accepting. If you try to do any other whistle, it ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna be authentic to Atlanta culture. You gotta have the
Gotcha.
that's the only whistle that they're gonna accept. So I put the trap whistle in because it's familiarity. And then let's get to the drums. This is a lot of people always ask was that a clap or a snare? It's just a clap.
I thought it was a clap.
It's because it has I guess when you play it all together, it sounds like it's a little mix with a snare when you hear it fully. When I was first starting off, what I was doing was I was finding records that were already out, and if I liked the drums, I would find it on YouTube, download it, put it in Pro Tools, and try to find when that drum is by itself. And that's how that's how I was building my drum collection.
Look, a lot of people steal them drums.
I'll be taking them. But you got one, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
I'm taking it. So I don't know what record, because I named the clap, it says Girlicious. So whatever song came out in 2010 that was called Girlicious, I clearly liked the clap.
Yeah.
And I decided to take it.
That.
And that's what I used for Future's Magic. With the snares, these are actually just some retro snares always kept. These are just default. I believe that these snares actually came from the keyboard. A lot of my sounds I was kind of taken from the keyboard as well. I wanted to, a lot of times when we make beats as producers, we kind of use the same sound. And anybody could identify oh shit, that's this clap, that's this 808. So I always try to challenge myself to have snares that are instruments that you can't easily identify, or that that clap, I'm pretty sure it came from a pop record.
Gotcha.
So I always tried to, when it came to the drums, again, a lot of producers, they kind of use the same 808, same clap.
Exactly
and it's been like that since back in the day.
You could tell a Dre beat soon as he's like, that's Dre. That's Dre's drums.
You can tell. So I've always tried to switch up the drums and not be so easily, not to be so easily identified with what drums I was using, but still keeping good club patterns. This is a hi-hat that I added. This is not a typical hi-hat. It's more just it's actually a real one. I didn't play it, but I wanted to give a real hi-hat just from a real drum. We got this. So I forgot about this sound. This is from, I can't remember what Roland keyboard, but it's a 80s. It's just one of those 80s records. I know that sound is in the Juno keyboard as well. So that's a sound that comes in periodically on the second half. And then we got the 808. This is a longer 808. So I wanted one of the 808s that just doesn't drop. One that just keeps going, that doesn't have a space in it. You know what I'm saying? So when this song came out, everybody asked me for this 808. You know what I'm saying? I think DJ Spins is the only person I gave it to. I was like, nah, I'm not giving this to nobody. Because now it's easy to find a longer sound than 808. But when I made this beat in 2010, the only person that had a longer 808 like that was Shawty Red. Yeah. And anybody underneath him. You know what I'm saying? Fat Boy, Shawty Red. They were the only ones that had a long, sustained 808. Most people didn't know where to find it. There was no loops and sound backs. There were no websites like we have right now.
Yeah, I didn't.
So that was one of my cherished. Once I got that, once I found that, you know what I'm saying? So, and Yeah, and it's actually called the Jermaine 808. I thought that was interesting. So this is the full beat. Now, of course, this sounds cool, but the biggest thing when it comes to production is sequencing. And that's where people a lot of producers will kind of mess up at. I think the sequencing is, I believe you can even sometimes have a trash beat, but if you build it the right way, if you put the perfect intro, if you put the perfect hook, if you know when to bring in the sound and when to take it out, it will keep people's attention and keep their interest.
I agree.
So, of course, with this beat, I wanted to do the intro just to set the tone. I don't have it sequenced right now, but as far as with the hook, I was just keeping it simple. I was only bringing in this trap whistle. That was it. It was just a trap whistle to identify what the hook was. And I think the lead as well. So once the verse starts, if we just take away the whistle and let's see. So if we take it out, the verses would just kind of be simple like this. You know what I mean? That way you just kind of know where to rap at. And periodically I just kind of bring in the lead every now and then off and on, but the lead and the whistle were supposed to be together. That's what makes the hook. And that was the full magic. You know, that was the full beat.
How did you feel when Tip got on the album?
Man, it was, Rocko had already hit me. He was letting me know, like, yo, I got Tip on it. And even when he was saying that, I was just like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Because he said, you know what I mean? There was a lot of ideas flying left and right. Like this song, Future did it. As soon as they did it, they just put it out in Magic City. DJ Esco started spinning it. Then it just started catching organically on its own. No money. Immediately. So Rocko had hit me and he was just like, yo, when I was talking to Future, we were already like, should we put Soulja Boy? We were just trying to like go we was in the studio. We was throwing names.
She would stick.
And Tip was one of those names. So when Rocko hit me, it was like, hey, yo, I think we're gonna get Tip on it. He hit me and said that, and then the next day they actually put him on there. Now when he got on it, I was like, this thing's about to go crazy because Tip killed it.
Yeah, he did.
Tip killed it, and I always wanted to work with T.I. Just you know, being in the South, that especially at that time. So Tip killed it, and after that, like I was like, bro, this is me coming off of Swag Surfin. So that record
That legitified you.
That record got so big that people were just like, what? But yeah, what is he gonna do
next?
again?
Yeah, what's
I
next?
don't know if he could do it again.
Can you do it twice?
I think he's a one-hit wonder.
Yeah.
So I for the first time in my life, I realized that you got two problems. One, you got to get on, and then two, you got to stay on.
No doubt.
So once that Swag Surfing started slowly kind of dying, people were like, oh yeah, but what does he have next? I don't think he could do it again. So when this Future record happened, and then I knew we was getting T.I. on it, I was like, all right, bro, I'm still good. I got a good 6 or 7 months to figure out what the next hit.
They say, oh yeah, you for real. They say you for real.
And I like that the record came out because a lot of times we get caught up as producers in making the same type of beat. So I wanted to show a little diversity still within the trap, but I came out with happy beats with trap drums under it that we're calling futuristic. And then when Swag Surfing came out, it was like more horns and brass. But people thought that's all I had in my bag. So I like the fact that I was able, because people thought I couldn't make a dark trap. So I was getting that. It was like, yeah, bro, you got to give us something for the club. So once Future, it was really dope because he really solidified all the trap artists saying, yo, let's work with KE, let's, you know what I'm saying? And it really helped solidify my career with a lot of the bigger name people. You know, Future got so big, it brought me so much work with more mainstream artists, even from
like
Nicki Minaj, you know, eventually just doing everything, working with T.I. more, right? Like, I went far. I went Justin Bieber. I started doing Tory Lanez, and then Chris Brown, Rick Ross, Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? So it just kept going. And every record that I was doing, I wanted to show that I'm diverse, because a producer dies when they just only stick to one sound.
thing, yeah.
And I always looked at
pigeonhole.
a lot of my favorite producers when I was coming up, when it was time to switch the sound, they never even tried and they fell off. And my thing was like, you know what? I got to keep learning how to play these keys. I got to keep paying attention to the game and seeing where music's going, what BPM are people
Reinventing
on.
yourself.
Right. So a lot of times, I even at that time, I'm in a relationship. I'm going to the strip club. It's like, you going? I'm like, listen, this is research. This ain't about the. This is research. I gotta see what's going on. I gotta see when the beat drop. What are they throwing money? This is research. My strip club time when I go there is research.
Say, look,
right?
you wasn't looking at the girls. You was strictly. You was in there. Oh, okay. This is what's working. This is okay.
Yeah,
I see what's working. I like that.
And I always wanted to, always paid attention to the game. And I think as a producer, that's the challenge. It's like, can you get out your own way? When people praise you for a record, because a lot of times we like that, we'll just stick with that one sound.
That's crazy, because I was about to go into a question. I was going to ask you what kind of advice would you give to upcoming producers, but you seem to be giving that now.
Oh yeah, because I know they watch your page. I know they love these beat breakdowns. And I think a lot of times people ain't really giving the gems like that. And I think one of the biggest things I could tell producers is, number one, have a tag that people say that they can hear clearly, because any piece of art has a tag signature at the bottom right. If you don't have a tag, you're not going to know who you are. You'll have the biggest record in the world and nobody knows your name, so you're not going to get more work. It's going to be very difficult. So make sure you tag up and make sure it's clearly said. And the second thing is really like keep switching up your style. Keep switching it up, because nowadays records don't last long. The shelf life of a record at best may be 3 months before it used to be longer.
It did.
It used to be longer. You could go a whole year.
We live in the microwave generation, man. If it's that quick and it's gone.
Yeah. So you gotta once this record don't celebrate too much, because you're on your next move. Yeah. And that record, people may get tired of those sounds. Yeah. They may get tired of that pattern. So a lot of times, we keep switching it up and keep studying because you can't. I look at music as war. You can't make it in a war. You can't win a war unless you study the battlefield. Yeah. So it's like I'm listening to everything and I'm looking at what people are reacting to. So I'm always studying other producers. I'm looking at patterns. I'm looking at sounds used. I'm always interested in where we're headed versus where we're at. It's like, where are we going? This person just dropped this song. Is this going to shift? Do I think I could shift the culture back over here? So I'm always challenging myself, and that would be my biggest thing. Other than that, don't get too caught up in loops. Don't get too caught up in pre-recorded sounds. Learn those keys, because if you get in a situation like I was with Rihanna and certain people, once they bust out singing,
you got to be.
It's time.
Yeah,
if you can't, they don't want to hear. Oh, let me go on this website and find this loop.
I found that we're doing going around interviewing a lot of producers. The best producers all know how to play an instrument. Yeah. Or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Because you got to have that in your bag when you're going in there.
Right. And to me, you're right. And to me, that's what separates the boys from the men. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have success. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, like I tell people, when I'm collabing, when you put that keyboard in front of somebody, you get to know who somebody really is. No, really. It sounds cool when we hear the end result, but at the end of the day, we had this thing in church where you'll see somebody playing for the pastor, but then when somebody starts singing a song, you'll see them hit this transpose key because they only know how to play in one key. They don't know how to, and you'll see them try to find a key because they only know how to play in one key. And it's like, oh yeah, you ain't a real, so that in church, I never knew people look at that transpose. It's like, oh, you don't know how to play in any other key. You got to keep pitching up and down in the same. So I like, especially in a day like this, because now kids make beats, right? Because the entry to becoming a producer is no longer you needing hardware. So now somebody can open up their laptop and be like, I'm a producer now. So you get my respect when you actually, you know how to play the keys, or if your ear is so, because Steve Jobs didn't know how to make anything, but he knew how to orchestrate.
There you go.
Right? So a Khaled or a Diddy, they know how to orchestrate. They don't know how to play no keys.
That's a producer.
But they know, they're producing.
Quincy Jones.
Right, Quincy, right? This has been going on.
Yeah.
So it's not just keys, but it's also just having that ear.
And putting stuff together.
But to if you're gonna call yourself a producer just from a beat maker standpoint, if you're constantly using loops and putting drums underneath it, you're not a producer. You're just a drum You're a drum programmer. And you might go get a placement, but you don't get my respect.
I got you.
You don't get. I don't care how many placements you get. If you, because it's a disrespect to the art to not learn how to, like, you want to make it in music, but you're not learning anything about music, and you don't care to. You know what I'm saying? So all this new AI stuff, I see what's going on.
Yeah,
I see what's going on, but at the end of the day, you get my respect when you are, because I started off playing with choirs. I had to learn this. I had to learn how to play by ear. Just people busting out singing in church. I had to find the key, learn how to play. And so I put in that type of work to be able to go, my Grammy nomination is with Tamar Braxton in the Love and War. It's just an R&B record. That's where, so to be able to go so left and right is just because I always respected the art of music. So you get my full respect when I see that you really respect the art. You're really studying. I was making a joke about the strip club, but I really do study, and I'm looking at what's going on. What makes people just jump up?
Yeah.
Why did they take the beat out? Why it's anticipation, climax. Okay, intro. Like I'm always studying it, and if you're not in it at that level, you don't get my respect.
One of my partners, Playboy Trey, he used to always talk about making a beat build.
Yeah.
And build. And that was one of his things as an artist. He would pick beats that would build like that.
Right.
And he would go into it too like that. So
that's
something to be said.
There's psychology behind it. But it's something that's just looping over and over. Why are these songs only lasting for 2 or 3 months? So when I kind of look into it, because a lot of records don't stick anymore.
I about to say, and you want something with longevity. Like your Swag and Surf, that will be playing at HBCU for the next 30, 40 years and beyond. So it's one of those songs that lasts and gonna stand the test of time.
It is, and it's not an easily remade beat. When I see people on YouTube try to let me reverse engineer Swag Surfing, it's like, nah, you need talent. And that was me playing I didn't tell you, I was in a high school band. So I was playing the drums and I was doing all that type of stuff. And so that's where that record kind of came about, the beat. I'm a fan of bands. All that drum line, battles of the bands, Jacksonville, I'm there, right there, front row, just looking at the battle of the bands, right? So I just wanted to make a track like that. But most importantly, like I said, I just respect music. And I think that a lot of times, if you're really good at what you do, the artist could be trash. But if you put together that beat the right way, and if you got that God-given talent, you'll have even the record will last longer than 3 months. I think right now most producers are lazy, and I think that when I'm listening to the new records right now, they're not lasting because people aren't putting their time. They're making 20 beats in 1 hour versus I take 2 hours just for one beat. I go through 1,000 sounds per stack that I'm putting on top of it.
That's why.
You know what I'm saying?
And while we talking about that Swag and Surf, hey man, shout out to V, man. My partner V on Swag and Surf,
V.
man. That's my basketball partner, man.
Is it?
Yeah, that's my homie, man. But yeah, man, KE, man, I just wanted to tell you, man, I'm glad you came by, man.
Yeah. We doing part 2.
Yeah,
you know
we definitely doing part two. But here at Atlanta Culture, we always like to give flowers. So we want to give you your flowers.
Man, I appreciate it.
And that's what this is for.
I thank you for even having me here, man. It was fun just breaking this down. I'm glad I was able to actually get that off my chest to you producers, man. Take this shit serious. Take this stuff serious, man, because it's at the end of the day, it's a lucrative business, but for me, I respect real producers. We gotta get back to learning music theory, bringing those keyboards back, and that's what's gonna that's what's gonna get you a legendary status. That's what's gonna give you records that last from the end of time, being committed to the game and not just committed to the money.
You don't even have bands no more.
It's crazy.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But shit, man, let the people,
You keep going, we can keep going.
We've been here all damn night talking about this because I come from a musical family too.
Okay,
So,
okay. I can tell you got a background. I'm like,
I got a
this nigga been
background.
making beats.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
yeah,
Let me.
no, my uncle's Lionel Richie, so that's one of the people
Oh,
that I had a
nice.
bunch of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And all my family played the instrument.
Wow.
Like I had to play the trumpet. I
Right.
had to play the piano. So I play instruments.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
But I know how to play them.
Yeah.
But let the people know where they can reach you at too, man.
Man, at KE on the track on all the different social media platforms and KEonthetrack.com.
There it is. Another episode of Atlanta Classic Remakes. We out of here.